Hey, good evening everybody. This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel, and today we're going to do a little unboxing, overview, and basic test of the Mantis Blackbeard X trigger auto reset system with integrated Mantis X designed for AR-15s. Now, if you're not familiar with the Mantis training system, it's essentially a software-driven and or laser-based training system that allows you to dry fire and practice with your firearm. Now, Mantis offers a range of products for a variety of firearms, pistols, rifles, etc., and the Blackbeard X system is a little bit unique with how it works. Before we get into this overview, I just want to give a shout out to Artisan Tony and a big announcement about the system that you see right here. So Artisan Tony, he's a fellow YouTuber, gun tuber, been around for a long time. He contacted me and asked me if I wanted to test out this system. He liked how I did a review of the other Mantis system that I tested on the channel and had asked me to test this system for him. So he sent this Blackbeard X system to me, and it was given to him from Mantis, and we're actually going to give this system away over on his channel. So at the end of this video, you're going to click the link to go to his channel, and there's going to be a live stream podcast over there where we're going to give the system away. Now, if you want to win this particular Blackbeard X, all you have to do is leave a comment or a question on the video that you're watching right now on YouTube, and we'll be pulling your comment over on his live stream, and the winner's going to get this system. I'll send it to you. Now, the MSRP on this is $319, but when you look at the cost of ammo and what this has to offer, and if you're really into wanting to improve your shots, I think this is something that you want to check out. Now, there's a few things about it that I think you need to know that maybe other YouTubers don't mention. So we'll talk about that, not necessarily negative things, but just kind of some stuff that's going to pop up. First things first, you do have a 45-day warranty with it. And Mantis actually gives you an additional 30 days if you buy between like November 15th and December 15th, essentially to kind of compensate for shipping times, because sometimes packages can be delayed. So your warranty basically won't start until you get it in the mail. Now, there is no compatibility for this particular system with Fostech Echo 2 triggers, also not compatible with Springfield St. Victor rifles, lowers that feature a sear block, which the way I understand it is something to do with Colt rifles. You have to check that out on the Mantis website for specifics, but the majority of AR-15s will not be affected by this. Compatibility cannot be guaranteed on 80% lowers, and that's just because you can have some specs that might be out of whack a little bit, and it's just not compatible with the system. Now, you can get the software on Apple, also on Android, but it's also over on the Amazon store. So if you have yourself an inexpensive Fire tablet, this would be a great way to really see the data on a larger screen instead of messing with a small phone and running your phone's battery down. So the Mantis X software is available over on the store over for Android if you happen to have a Fire tablet, so just keep that in mind. Now, we're going to go through the whole setup on this and kind of take you through what's going to happen so we can make it as simple as possible. So let's go ahead and see what's in the box here, what they actually send you. Now, if anything, just the dry fire trigger reset is pretty cool. This will reset the hammer on your AR-15 and allow you to dry fire and pull the trigger. Just kind of let you practice with that manual of arms a little bit, get used to the weight of your firearm, your configuration, and just see how well it actually performs when you pull the trigger. So you get a nice hard case that it's going to be transported in. I did previously open this up, just inspect it, and make sure everything is in there. We'll open it up. What you get is a replacement, a fairly sturdy plastic, heavy-duty plastic replacement bolt carrier group with a charge handle. You can turn the laser on permanently to leave it on the whole time that you're trying to zero it, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. There are windage and elevation knobs, I guess you could say, on the side, or screws on the side, and they do give you the Allen keys that you can use to set this up. Again, it is made in the USA, which is very unique for a lot of just products in general. You can see where your hammer is going to make contact with this module down below that's going to reset your hammer. There's two electronic connections here, so there is no battery in this unit, but there is a laser, and this is also compatible with the Mantis Laser Training Academy. So if you get the Training Academy software, you can use this with it too. Now, this is basically your Bluetooth connecting module slash battery pack slash empty magazine. It does have some weight to it. Feels about the same weight and specifications of like a PMag that's got ammo in it. You do have a connection right here that you can use to charge it. It's a micro USB port. It's not a new USB 3.0 port, the reversible ports. This is an older style, but they do give you a cable with it, which is a good thing. You do have your two contacts on the top. So this is basically, like I said before, your transmitting module and also your Bluetooth connection. This contains a small computer component that's going to transmit motion, fire, timing, all that data to the software that's going to be paired up with your smart device. And it's going to let you take a look at your shots and see how well you do, see what kind of mistakes you're making, try to figure out why you do the mistakes that you do, and offer a ton of different drills for you. Now, also in the package, we have your Blackbeard AR-15 instruction guide. They keep it very, very simple. And again, they do talk about the different settings for the laser and the windage and so on. Not a whole lot comes in the package. What's interesting is they talk about the Laser Academy here, but what they don't tell you is that Mantis X is its own separate software. So Mantis maybe put a pack in on here so a person would figure that out. Now, if you read the back of the box, they do explain that to you too. They do give you a little sticker, and they give you a charge cable, and then also the little tiny Allen keys that you're going to use, or the Allen key I should say, to adjust your windage and elevation. Now when you install this in your AR15, which we'll show you here in just a little bit, you're not going to really be able to zero the laser with the sight just as it is, because there's not enough diameter space for the laser to move to match up with your dot on top of your sight. So your shots are going to be basically 2 inches lower, 1.5 inches lower, however high your sight is, your shots are going to be 2 inches lower than your aiming point. Now you could take your optic and you could zero it at whatever distance you're training with, say 5 yards or 7 yards to match up with your laser, but then you got to turn around and go re-zero your firearm. So I'm not really worried about that, and I'm not using the Laser Academy, so it doesn't really matter. We're simply going for shot measurement, placement, timing, any kind of bad habits I have when I'm shooting, and so on. All right, so let's go ahead and just get this thing installed in the bolt carrier group and see how it works. We'll be putting it in my Dandle Defense DDM4A1, and we'll play around a little bit with this system and see how it runs. Okay, so if this rifle looks familiar to you, this is a clone of the rifle used by Josh Brolin in Sicario 2. I recreated it with the exact same weapon light and optic up on the top. It's an old SU-281 EOTech. We do believe in firearm safety on this channel, so as you can tell, we do have a chamber flag in the chamber. We're going to go ahead and pull that out. You want to verify that your AR-15 is in fact unloaded. Chamber's empty. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is press on the rear pin and open up your receiver. And again, I don't know how much experience you have with AR-15s. You might have just bought this system and bought the rifle at the same time. So for that 2 or 3 people that this is you, this is for you, okay? Go ahead and crack open. Well, we need to release the bolt real quick. There we go. Go ahead and crack open your receiver and pull out your bolt carrier group and your charging handle. We'll just go ahead and set that off to the side. Now there is a laser in the front here, and so when you pull the trigger, it's going to show a laser pulse wherever you're pointing your firearm. It also has a little switch you can push down to plus, which is going to leave the laser on the whole time, which I'm going to use to make a few minor adjustments to windage and elevation. Now, what I've seen before is that the elevation adjustments, it's either windage or elevation. It goes basically top left to bottom right. It doesn't go just exactly left, right, or up, down. So it might be a little bit finicky to get this to line up with your sight as much as possible. So your dot, when it's on, is going to be below your sight, and this gun is zeroed at 50 yards. So I'm expecting the dot to be somewhere between the bottom of the dot basically and the front of the barrel. So we'll see exactly what happens. Some people say if you have a 10.5 inch or you're running an SBR, that the dot will align with the dot up on top depending on the holdover height. So everybody's going to have a different reaction to it. And like I said, it doesn't matter because it's not going to be recording your laser pulses on the paper. It's going to be recording the motion, the trigger pulls, the number of triggers pulled, delay, all that fun stuff, etc. All right, so we'll go ahead and put that in and see if it fits. Again, every AR-15 is built just a little bit differently. Okay, we'll go ahead and close it. Now, from what I've seen in other videos, when we put this battery pack in, it may cause the trigger system to pulse or reset, etc. I do have the safety on. Your Bluetooth connection button is down here, but I have not actually set this up yet with the software, so I'll be going through that here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and push it up. Okay, I just heard it go ahead and reset or do what it does. So let's go ahead and semi, and again, we are completely clear. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger and see what happens. So I get a full trigger click when I'm using it. I'm also getting a laser pulse going off over on my wall over there. Okay, it's pretty cool. Now, obviously, you're not getting that recoil that you get from your AR-15, and honestly, this AR puts out very little recoil on the firing line. But still, you're not going to have that metric in there, but you're still going to be dealing with the heft of the gun, the weight of the gun, your swinging style, your over travel, all that fun stuff. All right, now, once you get the Mantis X software installed, then you're going to want to connect the unit and go ahead and mess around with your zeroing. So at this point, I'm basically going to leave you to follow the steps because everybody's phone is going to be different. Your software could look different from mine. So I'm going to get this connected with the unit itself, and when it's all set up, it's going to be sending the data to the Blackbeard tablet. Now, other YouTube channels show real-time data feeds going on their tablet, which is on their camera. I have no idea how they do that. So I will have a camera on this and then also on me when we're doing some practice drills, just so you can see what the tablet's going to show you while you're actually using the system. So let me get this connected and then I will come right back. Hey guys, something I want to mention real quick here is that you can access the switch from the side, and your little Allen key that comes with, your Allen wrench that comes with the unit will slide the switch down to allow the laser on the whole time so you can do your zeroing. Again, your windage and elevation knobs are right over here. And on my EOTech, the green laser, now this has a 14.7 inch barrel with the pin and welded, I think it's a 2-inch flash hider from the factory. And so anyway, with that length of barrel and so on, it puts the green dot just on the 6 o'clock position of my EOTech. And I don't know, this is probably about a 2-inch, bore over height for my optics. So that's what I'm looking at. So it rests just below it, so it's gonna be really, really close. All right, what we're gonna do now is just basically get everything connected, just run down to the garage and just play a few drills and see what it looks like. Not sure how good this is gonna show up, but I just wanna show this to you real quick. So it does say, welcome to Mantis X, start introduction course. All I literally did was push the button on my magazine until it started flashing blue. Press the connection button on my tablet. I made sure that Bluetooth was turned on, and you've got your holster draw analysis, Camelback daily challenge, and then it's got a ton of drills: opening training, shot timer, Mantis X benchmark, 20-second benchmark, and it goes on and on and on. There's courses you can go through: basic marksmanship, advanced marksmanship. So you can take this as far as you want to, or as comfortable as you are. Now, I did create a Mantis X account so I could log into this and hold on to this. I already had one for my Laser Academy, so I recommend you do so. So any Mantis products you buy or over on the website, you'll be able to log in and have access to everything. So I'm just basically going to start off with the start introduction course, and we're gonna see where it takes us. Let's just click it real quick before we set up in the garage and see what it wants me to do. Okay, it says step 1, do 5 shots, dry practice, and open training. So we're gonna set up downstairs and we will do that. All right guys, so apologies for the audio and the brightness in this. I'm just filming this in my garage right now. So I'm gonna go over and turn on open training on the tablet, and we'll have the video feed going over there too, so you can see what you're gonna see. Hopefully this shows up okay on your end. If there's any way I can transfer the video files, if the recording of the shooting, you'll get it here in the video, maybe even as a replacement for what you're about to see. So I've got the software running, it's paired up with the AR, and we're just gonna do a couple drills. All right, again, I'm not sure how good this is gonna show up on your end. It may be blurry, but we're just gonna go open training and see what it says here. All right, so it says precision marksmanship, shoot any number of shots at any pace, review your scores, and trace the view. This drill is not timed. So we'll go ahead and grab the AR. We're gonna go and take it off safe. All right, and here we go. All right, so let's go ahead and test it out and see what happens. Yes, did like 15 or 20 shots. All right, let's go back and check the software and see what it shows. All right, so it gave me a score of 95, which I think is pretty good. It says good shot. It says I did 19 shots. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, 20 shots, 84.1. That last shot was terrible. So it does show where the bulk of my shots are going, which is kind of cool. I'm having a tendency to kind of pull back off to the right, and I noticed that. I was noticing that the laser was moving and kind of moving down to the right as I was pulling the trigger. So that kind of shows where I'm putting my shots. All right, let's go ahead and do another one. So it says pulling with the firing hand. So it's giving me possible causes. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go ahead and go back. All right, let's go ahead and do shot timer. Okay, we're gonna hit start, shoot any number of shots at any pace, review your scores and times. All right, here we go, shooter ready? Uh-oh, I'm off. All right, let's try it again. All right, here we go. All right, let's see what it recorded there for me. So it shows 1.53 and then 0.15, score 79.5 and 84.3. I have got a lot of work to do. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We'll continue now with the next activity here. We have Mantis X benchmark. Okay, that sounds scary. All right, let's see what that's all about here. Benchmark to measure your precision and performance over time. Take 10 shots, focus on the precision of every shot. The exact movement of the trigger brake should surprise you each time. This drill is not timed. Okay, good, we'll go and take our time with it. All right, here we go. Now, the one thing I will say is that target is really, really dark down there through my EOTech. So you may need to lighten up your view a little bit if you're running holographic. There we go, much better. All right. But not every target's going to be perfectly lit up in real life. Okay, and I can feel the gun moving. Every time I pull it, I'm noticing I'm having a tendency to pull down on it. Alright, let's see what it says here. Mantis X benchmark, average score, 82. Hey, well, I didn't fail, so that's cool. Alright, it shows me my action, my score, my time. What I'm trying to find here is how to do the tracing of your shots and so on. We're going to see where that's at. Alright, 20-second benchmark. We'll just do a couple more and we'll go from there. Benchmark to measure your precision and performance over time. You have 20 seconds to take 10 shots. Focus on the precision of every shot, the exact movement of the trigger brake. Should surprise you each time. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, here we go. Shooter ready? I think it was 10. Alright, 20-second benchmark, average score 84, total time 6.34 seconds. Gotcha. Alright, so I'm going to look around here and see if I can find that mode that will trace the shots in the barrel and so on. So hang tight, I'm going to figure that out. So what I really like here, guys, is when you click on history, you can go in and check your number of sessions, your shots, your average score. It says this chart requires 50 or more shots, keep training, so it's going to show recent shots. It shows the drill that I've done and how much time it's taken me to get through that. Okay, so when you're in open training, I actually figured out how to see your tracing of your barrel and stuff like that. It wasn't really obvious at first, and it isn't exactly pointed out to you in the software. Again, for a lot of people it's going to be obvious, for me it was not. So I went under open training, I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And there's some sliders here on the left-hand side of the bottom. So if you notice where I'm pointing out, you've got your average score, you've got your target, which is going to show your shot placement, and then you've got your trigger press movement, your hold movement, and then you've also got that trace thing going on. So I'm going to go ahead and start it and then just slide the tabs over and see what happens in real time. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. All right, so here we go. Okay, it is recording my score. Let's slide the tab over real quick. All right, shows my trigger press movement. It shows my hold movement. Let's do a couple more. Okay, it is updating that real time, which is really cool. I can go back and review these stats if I want to. Okay, let's go ahead and slide over. All right, it does show where my shots are going. Let's just take a bunch of shots here. Okay, and you can kind of see where my barrel's going over there. All right, now let's go ahead and move over again. And now we can actually trace my barrel in real time, which is pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and take some shots here. Looking over my screen, so I'm kind of curious what's popping up. So this is kind of showing where my barrel's pointing in general. So as you can see, obviously I'm dropping my barrel as I look over at the tab. So let's focus for a little bit and take some shots here. I know, it kind of looks like a screensaver from the early 90s, doesn't it? All right, here we go. I can sit here and do this all day. What I do like about it is you do get the full trigger pull weight. Also, you can really get that kind of that trigger, memory in there, that muscle memory in there, so you know when your trigger is going to break, which is really cool. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back to the original data here. Cool, cool, cool. So hold movement looks like it's decent. Trigger press movement looks minimal. All right, let's go ahead and slide over again. Okay, here we go. Now, overall, all the shots have been taken. You can see I'm either top left or bottom right with an overall score of 82, which is pretty cool. And here we've got all the shots I've taken, the score, the time. Again, if anything, it's just good practice. It's a lot of fun. It allows you to do the dry fire with the trigger reset, which is really cool. And overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. Now, there's a ton of drills on here that you can do on your own when you do them. Cadence drills, kneeling, shooting at primary, and so on, hostage drills and stuff like that. So when you get the software, and again, this software was free. I just downloaded it, didn't have to have a special code or anything. And that's really cool. They give you all that access. Of course, you are paying for it, when you pay about 320 bucks. One thing I did notice here too is when I got out of the software and re-entered it, I had to set my gun back down, and it calibrated the gun with the Bluetooth sending device, with the gyroscope, with the tablet. So it did a little syncing that took about 3 or 4 seconds. But that was just when I left the software and just when I came into it. All right, let's bring it back for some final thoughts and see what we think. All right, guys, so what are my final thoughts on the Mantis Blackbeard X training system? I absolutely love it. Mantis is not paying me anything to say this. I get nothing from this, but I'm going to buy one of these. What's cool about it is it's going to allow me year-round practice indoors, especially with our Nebraska weather, which is kind of chilly about 6 months out of the year. I think if I really get into the different programs, I can really set it up and have a lot of fun with it. I just noticed that just by the end of my session playing around with it, and I did a lot more shots off camera after I turned the cameras off, I was really paying a lot more attention to my trigger pull, really trying to focus on holding the gun. After about 30 or 40 minutes of playing around with it, I really started to notice the weight of the firearm too, and it does show me that I'm definitely out of shape for practicing with the firearm. So if you want to be more proficient, I think it's going to help. Yes, you don't have the recoil situation. Yes, you're not in a live fire situation. Mantis does offer a system that will use live ammo that will also track your shots that you can go with, but this will definitely pay for itself quick, especially with today's cost of ammo, where I'm looking at, you know, roughly $10 a box if I don't reload. 25 or 20 rounds of, you know, 55 grain ball ammo. So again, Artisan Tony, thank you for sending that to me. Guys, I'll put a link to his channel. Be watching for his podcast where we're going to go ahead and give away this exact system, and we will get that sent to you. When you plug it in, by the way, there's 3 little lights on it that light up. When all 3 lights are solid, the system's done charging. It took about 2 or 3 hours, I think, to fully charge at home, so it did not take much time when I took it out of the box. And also make sure you leave a comment on this video, and that will get you entered into the drawing. So I will contact you via email. Please be watching for that podcast over on Tony's channel, and we'll send this to you, and you guys are going to really enjoy this system. So this is Travis P11. Thank you to Artisan Tony for sending it to me. Mantis, you guys have a pretty cool product, and you know, you can really get into the data as much as you want, or you can just use it for just simple you know, gun practice, trigger practice, in the convenience of your own home or training facility. So this is Travis P11. Thanks for watching. I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, guys, take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.